Bonjour, merci. Those get me through, honestly, like whenever I'm ordering something. But I have been able to like kind of understand little bits of conversations, even if I can't necessarily say them back to people, but I'll be in the metro and like eavesdrop and catch little things, and I'm proud of myself now because coming here before I would have no idea what was going on. So I'm Hannah Mackenzie. I'm from outside of Boston, and I'm a visiting student at AUP this semester. I go to the University of Delaware, and I'm a junior. So I've never taken a French class, nothing, not even in high school, don't know really any French. So I was initially really nervous about studying somewhere where I don't know the language, just because obviously getting around and like everything about a study abroad experience is so dependent on being able to talk to other people. So that was definitely why I was like really nervous to come here. I knew that a lot of people did speak English, but I didn't want to have to rely on English and other people to get around. But I have kind of picked up some little things, like little phrases and stuff. And it is a lot easier than I thought it would be initially. So I think the first few weeks were definitely the hardest, just because whenever I was going to buy groceries or doing other little errands, I didn't necessarily know like which places were good to go to, and if the people there spoke English, and if I'd be able to communicate with them. So after like now being 2 months in, I kind of know which grocery stores that people speak English, like where I can go to find what I need. And I think just generally kind of being able to pick up on, like I said before, like little things, even like when I'm grocery shopping ingredients and stuff, like now I know like how to say certain foods in French and certain ingredients in French, and that's really helped me too. So I think just being able to pick up on little things, and also just like being polite and showing someone that you're making an effort to speak French really helps. Yeah, I think it's definitely easier for me to kind of just like sit in the back, let other people take the initiative when it comes to being out in public and speaking French. Like I said, I am trying to kind of be better at that and like putting myself out there and not being super embarrassed if I say something wrong in French. But I would definitely say that being introverted and being here, it is kind of easy to just squeak by and like try not to really put yourself out there as much. I find it really hard to speak up, so I think once I get over that and kind of get over just like asking an initial question, like trying to frame it in French or telling someone that I need help in French, once I get over that, I think it's easier. But yeah, I don't know, it definitely is really hard for me to speak up initially, but I do find myself kind of embarrassed if I mess up or something like that. I remember the first week I was with a friend and we were out to dinner, and the guy was just really rude to us because we didn't know. We were trying to order, and we were trying to order in French just to show them that we were making the effort, but the guy like wasn't having it and was like didn't understand why we didn't speak French. And then so we finally were like, okay, we tried to order in English, and he was like, no, you have to do it in French. And we were like, we're trying, we don't know how. And then so that happened, and then our food came and it was the wrong thing. But we think it was our fault, obviously, because we had ordered the wrong thing, what we thought was something completely different. But that was definitely just the most awkward situation, and it was frustrating on both ends because we were trying and the guy, he didn't even really acknowledge that we were trying and was frustrated with us. So yeah, so I think the biggest thing not knowing French is just to show people that you are trying and that you are making an effort, because it is like you have to understand that like even though like we do speak English and most people do speak English, I don't want people to think that I expect everyone else to speak it just because I do, and it's such a common language, obviously. But I have noticed that like while most people do speak it, it's really appreciated if you show that you're trying to make an effort to like understand other people or understand their culture. And I think that just goes a long way, like saying bonjour or merci, just little tidbits here and there really does help. Yeah, so I just love Parisian culture. Like I said, I've come once before. I come with my mom when I turned, I think it was 14, so going into my freshman year of high school, I'd come for 2 weeks over the summer, and I just remember loving it. And I love to travel, but this city in particular, I was like, oh my gosh, I know I have to come back someday. I definitely want to spend more time than just a few weeks. And I think with Paris, it being so big and there being so many opportunities, it's so much easier to like get to know a place if you spend an extended period of time there. So I knew that Paris was a place and the people and all the things that I wanted to be able to kind of become acclimated in, I don't know, in the city. So I don't have any French friends, but I have met a ton of visiting students who are also go to American universities. AUP I have noticed is a lot smaller, and it's kind of cliquey in the sense that there are visiting students and then there are kind of four-year undergrad students, and it is kind of divided, but there's also a lot of opportunities to meet people. I've met people in my classes, but they're not necessarily French. They're just other like four-year AUP students or American study abroad students. So I think the main reason that I chose Paris was mainly just because I love the city and I love the culture of it. I think that at home, especially being from the East Coast, like we're in a very like regimented, like busy kind of like lifestyle and like way of thinking. And I know that Paris is kind of romanticized for us as like being from America, but I also think that there's something to kind of a slowed down culture where there's like cafes and it's so pretty, and like I said, even though that is super romanticized and obviously isn't completely true, I think there's definitely something to the more laid back kind of aesthetic of Paris that I really like. So I wouldn't really consider myself a quiet person, but I think that it's hard for me to put myself out there initially. So when I studied abroad, I knew that I was going to have to meet new people, and I was a little nervous about that just because there aren't any other Delaware students that are here this semester. But I think I was like pleasantly surprised with the fact that during orientation week there were so many people who were in the same boat as me, didn't really know anyone, and were studying abroad for the semester. So I think that kind of us all being in the same boat helped me because I knew that everyone had to put themselves out there. I wasn't the only one. And I think I've been able to meet and make a lot of friends, and it also is just comforting to know that so many other people are in a similar situation as me, and we were all kind of together, like need people to hang out with and stuff like that. So that made it a lot easier. So going into the study abroad experience, like I said, I was initially really nervous just because I didn't know anyone. My school, Delaware, with AUP, so I had to do everything logistically completely on my own, and I was really nervous that I messed something up. But coming here and realizing that I didn't mess something up, I had housing, I had roommates. I was really surprised by how easy it was to integrate myself into AUP and the people around me. I got really lucky, and I was placed in a really nice neighborhood in my apartment, and my roommates, that entire situation was really good, so that really helped. I think my initial perception and kind of my memories of Paris from coming here before, I think they've stayed relatively the same. I would say that I know the city obviously much better now, and I feel a lot more comfortable. But I think I'll go home feeling like I've seen the city and kind of experienced it in a way that I didn't necessarily get when I was in Rome my freshman year. I think it's probably just because I'm older and kind of have more confidence to be on my own in that way. But I think it definitely helped me to kind of like put myself in a mindset of meeting new people, but also exploring the city on my own too.
Do you think that not being able to speak French has affected like the authenticity of your study abroad experience in Paris?
I would say yes and no. I would say that just being at AUP in general, because it's an American school, I kind of knew that I wasn't probably going to meet or interact with a ton of French people. Like obviously, yes, day to day, like little errands and things like that. And being on the metro, I knew I would be around French, but I knew that I wouldn't necessarily be kind of like hearing French all the time or having to like say little things all the time. I think it would definitely help if I knew French. And I know everyone I know that's come here before has been like a French major, a French minor, has taken it in high school. I think it definitely would have helped me. In high school I took Mandarin. I take Mandarin still in college. I didn't want to go to China just because I didn't want to go to China. But I think, yeah, knowing French definitely would make this experience easier for me, but I think I have put myself out there in other ways that have made it just as beneficial and worthwhile.